News alert, exclusive new video at the southern border showing up to 1,000 migrants under a bridge in Mission, Texas. Our reporter there calling it the largest group of migrants our crew has seen being held by Border Patrol. This, as we're just getting word that the Health and Human Services Department's Inspector General is reportedly investigating claims of deplorable conditions at a Fort Bliss, Texas facility for migrant kids. Fox News obtaining audio of an unnamed federal contractor at the facility alleging that staffers were sexually abusing minors. It comes just days after whistleblowers alleged abuse and management. Take a listen.
We have already caught staff with minors inappropriately. Is that okay with you guys? I hope not. We've also caught minors with minors, which is, we got teenagers in our shelter. What is happening with these kids when they are teenagers? Hormones. They're raging out of control. Okay? It is important that we maintain safety, be vigilant, right? Just stop whatever's happening. If you catch them, especially if it's a staff member, you separate that minor from that person immediately.
Fox News reached out for comment and has yet to hear back, but HHS releasing a statement saying, quote, the care and well-being of children in our custody continues to be a top priority for HHS. Currently, children at the emergency intake site at Fort Bliss meet with a case manager weekly, and we have close to 60 mental health and behavioral counselors on site working with the children. It remains our policy to swiftly report any alleged instances of wrongdoing to the appropriate authorities. Tommy, this is not a new discussion. We on Outnumbered have been covering this for months and months now. Reports coming out of just examples like this, abuse, kids on suicide watch lists. One federal worker said this of the kids' conditions. The kids told him that they felt like they were in prison and often begged, please get me out of here. I don't know if I can take it anymore. In some cases, children have tried to escape the facilities. Where has been the media all along? If this was Trump, I think it'd be a much different coverage situation.
Well, it was a much different coverage situation when it was happening, when we had the caravans coming over during the Trump administration, something that he swiftly took care of. But I also remember AOC at one of those facilities back during the Trump administration with her little photo op, crying and looking at the cages and talking about how horrific it was. And now, we don't hear much from her. We don't hear much from Kamala Harris, except for a laugh here and there. We don't hear really anything from Joe Biden. We don't hear much from the mainstream media. But I also have to give a huge round of applause to Bill Melugin and the rest of the Fox News team that's down there covering this, because those images we probably would not see if they wouldn't be down there in that sweltering heat covering this and making sure that the American people understand what is going on. The magnet was issued by this administration, and it is not going to stop anytime soon, because as bad as these conditions are, the cattle call has been released. The world knows that we have an open border, and it's not going to end anytime soon, especially when no one outside of Fox News and some independent journalists are willing to talk about it. And that, to me, is the most disgraceful part beyond just what's happening there, which is disgraceful and shameful on its own.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Lawrence, one of these trainers at one of these training events said, if you don't step in a case of sexual assault, which apparently there have been cases of this, if you don't step in, who will? And when I read that quote, I immediately thought, well, Kamala Harris, where is she? Why isn't she stepping in? She used to call this human rights atrocities during the Trump administration. We didn't have reporting like this to this level, but where is she at?
Yeah, that's a good question. But before we find out where Kamala is, we need a fair press. I take you guys back to the first press conference where many journalists asked the president, Mr. President, when will we be able to see the facilities? We've been able to see them in the past. When can we go back there? And the president said, well, you will be. And then they did a follow-up and they said, well, when? And he said, we'll get back to you. And we're still here months later after that press conference with no access and this is supposed to be the most transparent administration. They were supposed to bring back lawyer order and dignity back to the White House as they claim, but press don't have access to these facilities. So we need to see that all the footage and the tape that we've gotten so far from leaks from elected officials. But I think it's also important to be honest with the public. This is a part of the journey. These people are treated like human cargo, like Amazon packages to get across the border as a part of a criminal enterprise. They are raped along the journey. They are raped in these facilities. And then when they finally do, they're caught and released to the public. They go to jobs where they make money that is like slave labor. That is the journey here. And lying about it does us no good. I think America is open to some comprehensive immigration reform. But you got to secure the border first. And I applaud, Lindsey Graham and Henry Cuellar, Democrat and Republican, coming together on this issue. But appointing Jay Johnson is not going to solve this crisis. Mayorkas is with the deputy under him. He knows what to do. It's not a matter of the administration not knowing what to do. They just refuse to do it.